I'll now call to order the meeting of the Snohomish County Planning Commission for September 23, 2025. Taylor, would you please call the roll?
Chair Larson,
Here.
Commissioner Sheldon, Commissioner Chandler,
Here.
Vice Chair Campbell,
Here.
Commissioner James, Commissioner Bush,
Here.
Commissioner Bastide,
Here.
Commissioner Sievers,
Here.
Commissioner Namella,
Here.
and Commissioner Ash.
Here. Okay, very good. We have a quorum. And next we move to chairperson's report. I do not have a report other than thank you for your appreciation, your help last time at our meeting. That was helpful to us. And then public comment, this would be any item that's not on tonight's agenda because we have the hearings tonight. Any public comment that's not on tonight's agenda? Okay, not seeing any. Do we have anybody online that wishes to make a comment?
I do see one hand, Sam Schroninger.
Oh, she's one of our commenter tonight, so I think we can wait on that. She'll want to talk during the public hearing, I think.
Did you speak with her already or?
No, I just saw her name. Go ahead and ask her if she wants to speak. That's appropriate.
Yeah, hi. I'd love to speak, actually. So good evening, commissioners. My name is Samuel Schoniger. I am the president of the Turners Road Association, and I live directly across the street from the land in motion 25-336. I wanted to level with everyone
here. Can I stop you just for a second?
Yeah, please.
Please let me stop you. This is a public hearing tonight. If you wait until the public hearing opens up, we're going to want to hear from you then, but not now, okay?
My bad. Thank you for telling me.
Okay, just hang in there and we're going to get to the public hearing pretty quick. Okay, thank you. Anybody else that wishes to make a public comment?
I do not see any hands.
Very good. Okay, our next item. Next item up is status of future agenda items and past recommendations. And we have with us staff that'll cover that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have anything to report at this time.
Okay, now we go into our hearings. And the way we do this is we'll hear from staff first. When staff is done, I'll read instructions for the meeting tonight for our hearings. Then we'll ask questions to staff and then we'll open up the public hearing. Our first item F, unfinished business parking configuration. This is a hearing. Diana Dannon, are you here with us? Diana. This is where we
I'm
need.
trying to get her pulled up.
Okay, good.
Yes, I'm here, Commissioner.
Okay, go ahead with your presentation.
I have no presentation. We provided a briefing last month for the parking configuration code project and received no public comments since. I'm happy to take any questions from the public if there are any.
Okay, we're not ready for the public because the hearing's not open yet, Diana, but if we have any questions from planning commissioners, now is the time to ask those questions. Fellow commissioners, any questions at this time? Okay, now we move to the public hearing, and this is a public hearing preamble. This applies to all of the hearings tonight. There are 3 of them. Tonight, there will be 3 public hearings. The hearings will address the proposed code amendments relating to minimum parking requirements, park impact code, and county-initiated comprehensive plan amendments. This has included amended motion 25-336. If you'd like to speak during the hearing, select the raise hand at the bottom of your screen. Or press *9 if you're calling in. When it's your turn to speak, the clerk will read your username and you will have up to 3 minutes to speak. Please start your public comment by providing your name, city of residence, and if you're for or against the proposal. If you'd like to receive information from the Planning Commission regarding this proposal, any one of the 3 of them, please email the clerk, Taylor Twyford, whose email address is shown on her Zoom profile and on tonight's agenda. You'll have another opportunity to provide testimony during the County Council's public hearing. You can check the county website for that date. And that's important. A lot of times we'll get people at the Planning Commission and we worry that folks don't go on to council, and that's where the final decision is made. So if you guys, whoever testifies tonight, hang in there for council. Yes, ma'am.
So where's this?
We don't have a paper agenda?
I did not get one printed out. I can pull it up if you would like to see it.
Yeah. Thanks, Ray. Pass that around. Is there any way we can run copies real quick, or is that not realistic? You know, what we could do is if the agenda is easily readily available to you, Taylor, maybe after each one of these presentation segments, you can show that agenda up on the screen. Because it is like a map. We kind of follow our way down through, and there's two hearings before you guys, and then the third one is Maltby. So,
And it's available online also.
yeah, if anybody's got their laptop or computer with them.
It's free to log on.
Thanks, Ray, for passing that around.
It's just the public one, just public, and then open your internet browser and it'll click a link and.
Yeah, thanks for asking. And then the last part here is thank you again for being here tonight, providing your valuable testimony. So we move into the first hearing, and this is on parking configuration. And I will now open the public hearing on parking configuration at 5:38. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this topic tonight? Parking configuration. Taylor, do you show anyone online that wants to speak on the first hearing?
I see no hands online. We did have one person sign up for the party of record, but they indicated that they did not want to speak tonight.
Okay, very good. Anybody want to speak on parking configuration? I'll close the hearing in just a minute. Okay, public hearing is closed on parking configuration at 5:39. And we now have discussion. Yes, sir.
So, parking consideration.
Come on up to the speaker. The hearing is not closed. It's still open.
Dan Brown, I live on Marwood Place, and parking considerations is something that's new to us, my neighbors and myself. This is the first we've heard of it. This is the first notice we've got of the work that you guys are attempting and want to move forward to. So if there's any questions on parking considerations, I don't know what you're referencing, nor do I have any idea if I have a comment on it. Anybody else? Is everybody aware of? Not at all. So there you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll come to that.
I know last time you spoke for the Zoom meeting, there was a couple agendas and I'm not sure if they're recorded and something public members can watch again. But it was talked about, but I was there, I watched it, and I have no idea what that is. I'm going to be honest. So I don't think it's what we want to talk about, but it would be helpful if the committee would briefly do like a little snippet of what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diana, are you able to just bring up the presentation from last month and walk through that?
Yeah, I may be able to in like 10 minutes, not presently. I just have to find the presentation first. Can we circle back?
Diana, let me pull it up.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I'm just going to jump in as a clarification. Nathan Howard, Public Works Transportation Specialist, and the parking configuration is related to changes to state law, which required the county to go through and make changes to our parking regulations. It's not tied directly to anything else on the agenda item. It is general parking requirements.
State compliance? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if we need to go through that. Does that satisfy everyone's needs? It just has to do with like spacing, sizing, where you are, what type of use, how many spots you need per use. It's all available online. I'd like to, we want to keep this going so you guys can talk and we don't have to be here too late. So thank you. You're welcome to look it up online. That shows all the code changes and amendments that's on our website. And then this will go to county council. So you have another chance to speak on it once you've kind of taken a look after our kind of preliminary vote.
So Diana, are you pulling up the file?
But I don't know.
Yes, Taylor has it
It's so
open.
simple. People relax when they see how easy it is. Yeah, what we saw before to me was not. What was that?
Yeah.
I don't, is it the entire county? It's things like the
So, yeah, so this would be updating the county code to align with the new state law from Senate Bill 616015, and it involves mostly adjusting our parking regulations to adhere for new standards for tandem parking and the new minimum dimensions. And that's kind of like the major changes for the parking regulations code project.
So Diana, can you scroll down a page or two, or are you stuck on this?
Yeah, Taylor, if you don't mind.
Okay, Taylor.
Maybe like with an image of the park.
Yeah, the image would really help. That was the big thing. Yeah. Go back a page, just go back one page real quick. One more. Multifamily design standards, applicability, tandem parking, number of spaces, additional parking requirements for the UC zone, parking for development standards, parking for surface requirements. Yeah, it covers a lot. It's unincorporated county. They're not huge changes, but they're adjustments to basically, we're reducing the number of parking requirements. So we're going to change the spaces. And this starts with state laws, pushing a lot of this stuff. Go ahead, go down a couple more pages.
Yeah. Darren Groth, I'm the long-range planning manager. I just wanted to step in too and say that that's a lot of code that looks like it's being changed. It is throughout the Snohomish County code, so it's unincorporated county. It's not in cities. But that Senate bill last year was passed, and it requires, or it states that garages and carports can't be required as a way to meet minimum parking requirements for residential development. Parking spaces that count towards minimum parking requirements may be enclosed or unenclosed. Parking spaces in tandem count towards meeting minimum parking requirements at a rate of 1 space for every 20 feet, with room for turning if necessary. The existence of non-conforming gravel parking areas may not be a reason for prohibiting the use of these spaces to meet local parking standards. Parking spaces may not be required to exceed 8 feet by 20 feet, except for required parking for people with disabilities, and parking spaces that consist of grass block pavers may count towards meeting minimum parking requirements. So we do have another bill that worked its way through the legislature this year that will amend parking ratios. But right now, it's really just those items that we're trying to do to catch up from state law last year.
So this would cover public.
Just a second. The hearing is still open. We really want to hear from you guys. If you have something you want to say, come to the microphone so you're recorded. What we're doing here is we're building a public record, and it does matter. We want to do it right. So help us, okay? If you want to speak, come up, give us your name and tell us and I'm glad you're asking. This is important. So give us your comment and your name and how you feel about it.
My name is Rod Turner, and I live in the Maltby area, which is unincorporated Snohomish County. And I don't have no public parking on my street. And I'm concerned with what this is going to cover. Are we going to just all of a sudden make it so people can park on your street? I don't.
If I can, again, I'm the long-range planning manager. My name's Darren Groth. I just wanted to clarify that it's not just for parking in public spaces or street parking. This is really a standard to allow private development to consider those types of parking, whether it was gravel or a carport or your driveway, as opposed to some governmental agencies require 2 parking spaces per single family dwelling, and they have to be in a garage. This Senate bill said that you can't require that as a local government unit. So we're changing our code to say that you don't need to have those 2 required spaces inside a garage. And if you're existing and you already have a gravel driveway and that's counting towards your parking, any new development on that, on the private parking calculations, they can remain and you could still get your development permit because the use wouldn't be denied.
I would just like to add, this is only applicable to people proposing new types of development and permitting uses on their own property. These are design standards for parking. If you want to do A, B, and C, you have to do E, D, whatever, right? So, yep, and they're all good things in my opinion, so.
Thank you.
Like here says it had a sign to it. It says connected but no internet. If you open the internet browser, it should have a pop-up. There's a public site. I was just able to.
Anybody else wish to speak on parking while the public hearing's open? Thank you for your comments. It's okay. Anybody else wish to speak at this time? Okay.
I do see a hand. Alex H.
Oh. Alex,
Hi,
go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Alex Holtzhausen. I live in unincorporated Snohomish County in the Clearview area. Thanks firstly for explaining. I think that was a really helpful explanation. I was not aware of that either. My feeling about parking is that, and I'm trying to kind of determine whether I'm in favor or opposed, but I am generally against the high density development which is happening in unincorporated Snohomish County. And my preference would be to err on the side of keeping this area rural and more geared towards a rural setting for my kids. And I think a lot of the people that I share the community with have that feeling as well. I think what we see and note is that the community is becoming more and more urbanized, and that the infrastructure is not necessarily developing with it to support that from a traffic standpoint, from a safety standpoint, from a long-term outlook in terms of our school system. And I could be mistaken about those things, but that is my general impression. And I think that there's a lot of utility and value in keeping this area, a green part of Washington, returning what we can to the land and preserving it for future generations of Snohomish residents. So that is my general opinion. And so my request to the council would be, as it relates to parking regulations, I think it is better to encourage the development of single family homes on larger plots as opposed to high density housing projects similar to what's being developed by D.R. Horton in Cathcart Way, and the large development and clear cutting that's currently in place in over by Glacier Peak High School. So those are my comments.
Okay, thank you very much. Public hearing is still open. Anybody else wish to speak on parking? Anybody else wish to speak on the parking public hearing? Okay, I'll now close the public hearing at 5:41. Thank you very much for your comments. We've exposed some good questions here and hopefully you got good answers. So at this point in time, the public hearing is closed and City Planning Commission can go into discussion regarding a motion on parking, the proposal on parking. This is parking configuration and we're at discussion stage moving toward a motion. Any discussion? Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the motion.
Commissioner Bastide moves to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Commissioner Chandler gives a second. Those in favor, let's go through a roll call on this. Taylor, call a roll on this, please.
Commissioner Ash,
Yes.
Commissioner Bush,
Yes.
Commissioner Bastide,
Yes.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chandler,
Yes.
Commissioner Larson,
Yes.
Commissioner Namella,
Yes.
Commissioner Sheldon,
Yes.
Commissioner Sievers.
Yes.
Okay, we have unanimous support for recommendation to County Council on parking. And thank you again for your comments. And those will go to county council too. Now we move to this is new item 2, and this is Park Impact Fee Code. And with us, we have Carol Olfs. Carol, go ahead. This is a public hearing.
Hi, thank you. I'm Carol Olfs, Principal Park Planner, Snohomish County Parks. I'm gonna just pull up my presentation. Similar to the last item, there was a briefing presentation last month about this, and today we are having the public hearing. It's a really quick little change to the code about park impact fees. There was a typo in the previous version we adopted last year, and we need to remove this detached units from the fee format, fee schedule in the code. And since that's a code change, it requires full formal process. So appreciate your guys' time. If anyone has any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Carol. Any questions from commissioners? This is from commissioners, right? We'll move to you in a second. Any questions, commissioners? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing at 5:48. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on park impact fees? Yeah. Come on up to the microphone.
Bob, just an FYI, I think you're looking at the wrong time. I have 5:55.
5:58. Sorry about that. Thank you. You got my back. Okay.
We'll
Any
get a
public
digital
comment?
clock for the next meeting.
What would these fees impose here? What are the fees for? To go to a county park?
So there's actually no fee proposed in this amendment. It's actually just a text change. So see the highlighted part, that's the only thing that we're changing and voting on in this hearing.
Park impact fees are a fee that people who apply for a development permit pay when they get their permit. Pay school impact fees, park impact fees, and
For developing a park?
Nope. Well, to develop a property, you get your development permits, and that's when you pay the fees. The county collects those fees, and when Parks Division gets that revenue from our constituents, we spend them on developing parks.
Well, if there is a fee on that, then how come it's not up there? So there is no.
The fee's already adopted in code, so it's not up for today.
Yeah. Yeah. The yellow tells you what got removed and it just gets replaced by single family. It's a text change. Carol, anything else? Okay. Any other questions at this time?
Bob, before you go, we did have people sign up.
Okay.
Len Lebman.
Actually, I intended to speak on behalf of Wellington subject when it comes up, not this.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be next.
And then Scott Hagman.
Scott?
And then Ian Wise. Okay.
Okay. All righty. So any other comments on park fees? That you can see the change on the screen. Okay, I'll close the hearing at 5:51. And now we move to discussion.
6, Bob.
Sorry, geez.
It's okay.
It's the smoke.
Somebody say the time for me.
Okay.
5:56. I guess I'm used to digital. Maybe that's my issue. Okay, so discussion, public hearing's closed. Now we move to discussion on this item action. Any discussion before we move to a motion?
I'm going to move to a motion to approve.
Okay. We have a motion from,
I'm sorry, who's second?
yeah. We have a motion from Commissioner Bastide, second from Commissioner Sievers.
Yeah.
Okay. And Taylor, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Sievers,
Yes.
Commissioner Sheldon,
Yes.
Commissioner Namella,
Yes.
Commissioner Larson,
Here? Yes.
Commissioner Chandler,
Yes.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yes.
Commissioner Bastide,
Yes.
Commissioner Bush,
Yes.
Commissioner Ash.
Yes.
Okay, very good. We have unanimous support for this proposal. And now we move to item 3. Now that we've had practice, we're perfect, right? Item 3, annual county initiated comprehensive plan amendments, and this does include amended motion 25-336. And with us, we have Hillary McGowan, Senior Planner, Ryan Humbry, Legislative Analyst, and Nathan Howard, Transportation Specialist. Go ahead.
Hi, just a minute while our presentation gets pulled. Thank you, Nathan. Taylor, do you have the presentation? What is it?
Did the folder get closed up there?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. I thought you were.
I can pull it up.
Okay, sorry. I got it. Mhm. Here you go. I can't see the scene. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for our technical issues. So tonight, I'm just going to be going over an overview of the briefing that happened 2 months ago as well as last month. So first is just the slide. I'm Hillary McGowan, and I'm talking about the proposed amendments to the county-initiated dockets for 2025. So this presentation, hold on just a sec, let me move this. Is going to be in the order of, first, I'm going to be talking about planning and development services proposals. Then Nathan Howard will be talking about public works. And finally, Ryan Hembry will be talking about the council initiated proposal. So the county-initiated comprehensive plan amendments, they are processed annually as seen in Chapter 3074 SCC. And these include both technical and substantive amendments, and they are proposed again by PDS, Public Works, and County Council. So just a little background, the county may amend the comprehensive plan once per year with some limited exceptions that are listed in code. Minor docket revisions are technical, non-substantive, and minorly substantive. And major docket revisions involve substantial policy changes or proposals to alter the urban growth area. You'll hear us call it the UGA boundaries, and that is in that code right there. So the PDS proposed amendments, the first is to conditionally change the implementing zone for the light rail community LRC, future land use designation. It would add a new policy, which would be LU3A6 to the land use elements, as well as technical updates to the housing elements, and then placeholder for updates to land use maps 1 through 6. And I'll quickly go through these. So for the conditional implementing zone, that would be adding new policy LU386 to the land use element to implement criteria established by the Puget Sound Regional Council for regional urban centers. And this would amend the future land use map urban plan designation for the center designations on LU91. So it's just a simple name change. The second one would be proposed comprehensive plan policy LU3A6, which would be changed to meet PSRC's criteria that a regional center has a planning goal for a mix of uses. The proposed policy provides direction on the mix of uses and activity in centers in the land use elements, as well as supports the county's efforts to designate the Mariner and Ashway Light Rail Center areas as urban regional centers. So again, this is another minor change. The technical updates in the housing elements, this is a technical change. The proposed technical amendment revises the introduction text in the housing element to update language relating to the organization that prepares a plan to deal with homelessness from prevention to provision of permanent housing. And this is a technical amendment. Again, it's necessary to supply current information on the housing elements. And finally, our placeholder. So this is intended to allow for map amendments to the land use maps 1 through 6 in the comprehensive plan, including the future land use map. And these proposed changes are to reflect areas no longer under county jurisdiction, either from new annexations by city or town or due to new tribal trust status. And these proposed maps will be made by the time of consideration for the Snohomish County Council. So we don't have those complete yet, but they will be ready by that time. So the current proposals that are on those maps are new properties recorded into the tribal trust. So that'll be in land use map 1, as well as 2 city annexations finalized since the staff report was forwarded to the Planning Commission. And those are in 1 through 6. And those annexations are Monroe 30 and the Mukilteo Phase 1 annexation. Any questions from the Planning Commission?
Questions, commissioners? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm Nathan Howard, a transportation specialist with Snohomish County Public Works, and we presented this 2 months ago, but I'm going to briefly go through it again. So this is as part of that county-initiated comprehensive plan amendments, but this is specifically the transportation pieces. And as an overview, the transportation element has a 20-year project list of transportation improvements that the county is planning to make. The things that are going to be mainly changed in this amendment are changes to the arterial circulation map, the project list, and the countywide bicycle map. So proposed amendments to the project list. So adding 43rd Avenue Southeast, this improvement project. The reason we're adding it is when we adopted the comprehensive plan in December, it was anticipated to be done by then. Due to some delays, it has to be added back in. It's still in progress. This is the UGA expansion that was adopted in December required us to make some changes to this project, which changed it from rural standards to urban standards. So this is 43rd Avenue. 35th, 36th, it's similar to the other project where it was added back in because it wasn't completed when we anticipated it to be completed. And 128th, the multimodal improvements along 128th, they were also anticipated to be completed by the time the comprehensive plan was adopted. So those are the main projects added in. And then amendments to the arterial circulation map. So up near Marysville, Arlington, so the arterial circulation map just helps us with the standards on which the roads are going to be developed to. This is a proposed change that was requested from Marysville and WashDOT. They're doing improvements to add an interchange and an overcrossing to the railroad tracks up there. And they will be adopting standards that would require us to have similar standards to extend that road. So 156 to updated to minor arterial standards if and when it's done. This is kind of near 164th and I-5 interchange. This is an extension of 150th, and this is primarily done to preserve right-of-way as things are developed in that area. And then this Broadway realignment you'll see on the right is the existing Broadway Avenue. The WashDOT is doing a project on 524 and 522, and they are requiring us to move, or this arterial is being moved as part of that project. And so we have to redraw the maps to where it will. There will be a future change where we'll remove the existing Broadway from the map, but this is done just to show where the future project will be. And that's really it. Any questions?
Nathan, the last change you showed there, is that going to conflict with any of the retail establishments or on the west side there? Or is that pretty much unused land?
It shouldn't impact the it's gonna connect. There's 87th, I think it's right there. It's not gonna be taking away. I don't believe there's any properties that are being taken away.
Okay,
now.
Thank you. Other questions for staff?
What happens to the Dan Brown? What happens to the right of way once you move the road?
It would stay within the county's right of way unless we were to divest of it.
Yeah.
You know, roads moving right of way. Is that what you're saying?
It's possible. I'm not aware of the WashDOT property as much or project as much. It's possible they might need some of the property, which is I think why they're removing it. And so they'll probably take some of it. If you have, it is a weird thing. And if you have specific questions about this project, I would suggest reaching out to WashDOT. So if you look at the 522 Paradise Lake Road interchange project at WashDOT and talk to their project manager. Sure.
Okay, thank you. Next item.
Oh, just a second. And while this is Ryan's project, I just have a couple of slides just to do a brief introduction for him. So this is the County Council, County Initiated Amendments, and Ryan Hembry, Council Legislative Analyst, will be presenting in just a minute. This is a council initiated proposed expansion of the multi-urban growth area, UGA. And so there's two amended maps, areas 1 and area 2, and those are the two maps. They're small, you're going to see them much larger. And this is part of Council Motion 25-336. The proposed expansion areas incorporate properties that were previously considered by Planning Commission in 2023 as part of the 2024 Comprehensive Plan. And this proposal is similar to what was studied in Alternative 3 of the 2024 Comprehensive Plan SEPA analysis. You can find in the Planning Commission packet. So this is what you can find online on the Planning Commission site. There's a staff report. There's the amended motion 25-336, the staff report to motion 25-336, the North Shore School District settlement, the Planning Commission briefing presentation, comments from PDS regarding the amended motion, and amended motion area map 1 and 2. And Ryan, please take it away.
Taylor, do you see me trying to get in? Yeah. Okay.
Make sure you have everything muted or you're going to cause a...
It's muted. Yep. Okay, there we go. So Ryan Hembry, I'm Snohomish County Council Land Use Policy Analyst. And this is kind of the full briefing was last month for this project or the proposal. And again, it's important to remember it's a referred proposal. So looking for the impact or input from Planning Commission, PDS, and Public Works, as well as then seeking public input on this proposal. And so a background, this goes back to 2022, a motion 22098, as well as the ordinance 24101 that was last year. And as a reference, and I'll bring it up some slides from that. That was one that was Planning Commission voted to approve, Council voted to approve, it was vetoed, and then it came back and it was a 3-2 vote for the County Council. For this amended motion 25336, it's a total of 270 acres. A little over. It was originally, the original area was proposed by Councilmember Megan Dunn. And that area we're calling Area 2. And that was because it corresponded to the previous ordinance of the 25101. It's a little over 114 acres. And this area is east of State Route 522. There was an amendment done by Councilmember Mead. And this would be for Area 1, which was along State Route 9 up to Maltby Road. And we'll highlight some of the changes also. This area is about 155 acres. The kind of something important here is the proposed future land use would be public institutional, and that's about 81% of the total acreage for this project proposal. This map is actually from motion 22098. And kind of gives you a little bit of a history and understanding that this area has been looked at for a while. This is one of the maps for Area 1 from the ordinance 24101 that Planning Commission voted to approve. And part of it also you can see here is the Carousel Ranch Park. The purple area is where it's within the urban growth area of Maltby, and it's urban industrial. One of the questions I get is why now, what's changed? And when the vote happened for the veto, Councilmember Dunn stated that she'd be willing to look at this issue again. A constituent did follow up on that. And so that's essentially how we came to be. That's, someone asked her to do this and she proposed it. Then they had the amended motion by Councilmember Mead. Again, the 81% of the area proposes public institution. With this land use, only government, public use, parks, churches, things like that are part of that. And it would actually then protect North Shore School District and Carousel Ranch from further development for like housing. One of the things that I've gotten a lot of questions about, what is public institution? This is actually pulled out of the Snohomish County's comp plan in the land use element. It's not a widely used land use zone, land use designation, but I've highlighted in yellow the kind of the key parts here. And that's why it's being proposed for the North Shore School District. What's that? Oh, absolutely. Sorry. So public institutional use, it says the public institutional use designation can be applied to existing or planned public and privately owned and or operated properties, including churches, schools, parks, government buildings, utility plants, and other government operations or properties within urban growth areas or adjacent to urban growth areas. And then the public institutional use designation can be applied to existing areas within a UGA as well as areas being added to a UGA concurrent with a redesignation to public institution. Then when applying to the public institution designation, the following requirements apply. And so the highlighted yellow is essentially saying it's schools, churches, public use. Really just trying to make sure that's clear and understanding. So part of that, then next apply is there was a subsection 1, then there's a subsection 2. I pulled out subsection 2 because this is a key part. And some of the questions I got was in looking at the postcard notice, there was proposed changes for public institution and also talked about the rezone. And one of the things it says there is a rezone of R9600 and R7200. This is a key part right here. And so subsection 2, I'll go ahead and read this. So I apologize. It's a lot, but for folks that can't maybe see it on the screen. Subsection 2, use of public institution designation in conjunction with an urban growth area expansion. All residential, commercial, or industrial urban growth area expansions are subject to the requirements of land use 1A9. So institutional urban growth area expansions are allowed subject to the requirements of land use 1A9, provided that the land added to the urban growth area is designated public institution concurrent with or prior to the urban growth area expansion. Subsequent redesignations of land added to an urban growth area under the public institution designation are subject to the applicable requirements of land use 1A9 for residential, commercial, or industrial urban growth area expansions. When land is added to an urban growth area is designated as a public institution, the implementing zone will be R7200, 8400, or 9600. And if you looked in the zoning map that was part of it, and I'll have it up here, the implementing zone for Carousel Ranch and for the North Shore School District property is 9600, because that's what is required by this. For land added to the Darrington urban growth area or Gold Bar urban growth area as part of the urban growth area expansion or adjustment, the implementing zone may be our 12,500. When applied to land designated public institution concurrent with or prior to an urban growth area expansion, these implementing zones shall only allow churches, schools, parks, government buildings, utility plants, and other government operations or properties, unless the land is designated to urban, commercial, residential, or industrial in compliance with the urban growth area expansion requirements of land use 1A9. Okay, that was a lot. So that hopefully you can see where it was designated a public institution as required in county code, that the implementing zone was one of these three zones. Public institution, part of this here is also in Snohomish County Code 3022-13088. So when applied to the land use designation, public institution concurrent with or prior to an urban growth area expansion, these implementing zones shall only allow churches, schools, parks, government buildings, utility plants, and other government operations or properties unless land is designated. That was part of earlier. And then 1A9, because that's what we've been talking about, that is the expansion of the boundary of an individual urban growth area to include additional residential, commercial, commercial, or industrial land capacity shall not be permitted unless it complies with the Growth Management Act, is consistent with countywide planning policies, and complies with the criteria established in the countywide planning policy DP2. So next up is countywide planning policy DP2. And hopefully you can see this is kind of a step-by-step process of this. DP2 is an expansion of the boundary of an individual urban growth area that results in a net increase of residential, commercial, or industrial land shall not be permitted unless, and one of the, item number 6 is schools. And in the event that it is demonstrated that no site within the urban growth area can be reasonably or logically accommodate the proposed facilities, urban growth area expansions may take place to allow the development of these facilities, provided that the expansion area is adjacent to an existing urban growth area. This site, the Wellington Hills, it was purchased by the North Shore School District in 2017 for $11.2 million for the purpose of schools. No, this I'm saying is, so I don't know, for process, answer questions. Okay, so questions later.
Let's listen to
Thank you.
staff. We'll have our questions and then you guys get a shot at it. We'll open up the public hearing at the right time, okay? Let these guys finish. We'll have questions and then we're gonna turn it over to you. Thank you.
I did all the heavy reading already done. So now we've got more maps and hopefully a little bit more information. Okay, so area 1 and 2. So these are the two maps. Area 1 is on this side, and this is the highway or State Route 9. Blue, the big blue area is Carousel Ranch. You also have some Department of WashDOT property in there, and then some changes of land use designation to the urban commercial, urban industrial, and public institutional. And then on this side is Area 2, and that includes the North Shore School District and the Vanguard property, which is right here. It's kind of like, it's just above King County. Zoning, so that was a future land use. Zoning is, like I said, the implementing zoning for public institution is 9600. You can see that here with the Carousel Ranch and the North Shore School District property. But again, the property, as stated earlier, can only be used for government purposes, schools, churches, those kind of facilities. So just trying to make sure that's clear, because that's something I had a lot of questions on. And one of the things that's to be noted, if you look at Area 1, which is definitely different than previous efforts, was that it does not expand north of Maltby Road. There's also a small parcel in Area 2 where that was not included from the earlier efforts in ordinance 24101. And that was a question that I was asked by one of the commissioners earlier. Urban commercial redesignation. The current zoning for this State Route 9 and Maltby Road is rural business. Proposes urban commercial. One of the concerns is about the environment that we've heard and protecting Little Bear Creek watershed. This slide is kind of just to show that we have the Ruby Bridges Elementary School, which is down on Maltby Road. During the school day, an average of 800 to 1,200 gallons of septic or effluent goes into this drain field. They're on site. So that school does not have sewer, it has drain fields. And again, 800 to 1,200 gallons goes into the drain fields every day during the school day. And the North Shore School District property is probably really, I have here, it could hold 3, but most likely 2 schools. And kind of highlighting it just to bring up the, the amount of septic that would be going through 2 to 3 schools on the 100 acres of North Shore. And that's one of the key reasons for looking to expand for sewer and urban growth area expansion. Other key policies and considerations is countywide planning policy PS 10, and that jurisdictions should coordinate with solid waste service providers in order to meet and, if desired, exceed state mandates for, it's funny, I got to move the reduction of solid waste and promotion of recycling. Also is the countywide planning policy we talked about for schools being able to be expanded, and that was the middle one, DP2E6. Of note, this area was covered under Ordinance 24101 for a SEPA analysis last year in the comp plan, and that carries forward. The addendum number 2 to the final environmental impact statement was also issued September 6, 2025. And so because this also area was essentially smaller, so it did not expand beyond that scope. Excuse me. Okay, summary kind of, Snohomish County Council is looking for the recommendation regarding the proposed expansion of the Maltby urban growth area. And this includes areas 1 and 2 from the Planning Commission, Public Works, and other county departments. There's something very important to note that the recommendation can be just one of the areas. It could be parcels. You do not have to make a recommendation for all or nothing. And so definitely want to make sure that that was conveyed. Again, the area would be covered by 81% of the urban growth area expansion as a public institution, that it would not be able to be developed for residential, multifamily, office, warehouse, that kind of thing. Sewer lines are largely in the area currently on 240th, which is where the North Shore School District, there is sewer stubs there on 240th. And there are some lines up in Highway 9 as well. Proposed land for the urban growth area has been approved previously by the Planning Commission and Council in the past, but again, this is a slightly smaller proposal. Next steps, as I mentioned, is essentially approve, deny, amend, and amend would be looking at either an area 1, area 2, or some kind of variation. And oops. Okay, this part was left over from the last briefing. And then consideration would be by county council after it receives the Planning Commission and PDS and public work recommendations. That'll probably be a hearing in December. And so a briefing would be sometime November, October timeframe. Probably November. Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
Thank you, Ryan. Questions from commission at this time?
I was just wondering why we included all the other, like transportation and all those other elements with this for this hearing versus last month was just the amended motion 2533-6.
Yeah, so that's a great question. We were just making sure we wanted to assure that these projects, so planning development services and public works, those amendments would be voted on separately, I believe. Yeah. And then councils would be voted on separately as well. We wanted to batch them together because they are all part of the same process of the county initiated. So that's why we put them together and we waited until they could be done at the same time.
Also, real quick is when the comp plan amendments do go to council, they have to be acted upon at the same time, the same day here, the same hearing. And so that was one to make sure it's part of that batching and grouping them together.
Commissioner Campbell.
Thank you. Council really tossed us a good one on this one. So it's kind of complicated and has lots of moving parts. I appreciate all of you here and have a lot of interest in it. Ryan, in the packet, it says that the county PDS's position is still kind of looks like it's not approving this amendment. Both Area 1 and Area 2 are not substantively different than what the county executive vetoed. I know it's a little bit different, but it seems like here we are asking in a minor revision year to do a major amendment, whereas the two previous presentations on transportation and some of the language in 1 through 4 were minor amendments. So this feels like there's a big push to push something through. I don't understand how. I guess the technical question is, how is this different than what the county executive vetoed?
It's the small areas, as I said before, the small area north of Maltby Road is not included, and the small parcel in Area 2 is not included. So, as I said, it's a very small change.
Very similar to what the county executive vetoed.
Other questions?
And the real, as I've tried to understand this and drove the area again today and to get kind of a sense of all of the moving parts here. And I know that there's concern about the recycling facility. If they expanded, they would have to do a new permit, which would then have to comply with the new critical area ordinances and streamside buffers. Am I correct on that?
Correct. And so any new permits throughout the county are required to adhere to the new critical area regulations for streams and wetlands and buffers and increased setbacks.
And would the North Shore School District, they could build those 3 schools now without this amendment, is that correct?
They would, or they could. The schools would be on septic. And as I stated, for like the Ruby Bridges, that's 800 to 1,200 gallons of septic going into drain fields there on site. And that would be at least a minimum of two schools.
And so the primary reason then on this expansion of the urban growth area is to ensure that the school district could be connected through sewer because it would be within the urban growth area.
It's a key driver.
Yeah.
And I would say it also allows for, that long-term planning process.
Commissioner Bush.
I just have a follow-up question on that. Is there a plan to do that before the next major revision when an amendment like this would normally be made?
A plan meaning?
A plan to start developing a new school or building?
No, this as of right now, the school district, as I know of, does not have plans to start action. They are admittedly, I think, a number of years out. They also cannot publicly advocate for anything on this for that site as part of the settlement agreement with the city of Woodinville. And so that's kind of a key factor there too. There was a settlement agreement with the city of Woodinville and the North Shore School District, and the North Shore School District cannot publicly advocate on their own behalf for that site.
Let's wrap up questions from Commissioner. We'll open up the public hearing.
Sorry.
Any other questions from commissioners? Commissioner Chandler.
So I think it's stated that 81% of that property is public institution.
81% of the total areas 1 and 2 would be proposed as public institutional.
And has that land been designated one way or another at this time?
R5 currently.
Okay. Can you show what area that would be?
Yeah, just a minute. I have to go back. Yeah, Taylor, can you, or?
Share.
Oh, I
Yeah, you should be able to.
just a minute. All right, so you wanted me to show you, what was it? Which area again? Okay, right here. So this blue crosshatch on the Carousel Ranch, you have this horizontal. These two properties are WashDOT. You've got this little parcel up here along Mulberry Road, and that is PUD. And then over on Area 2, you've got the North Shore School District properties, and there's a collection of parcels there. So substantial. Yeah, it's substantial.
Other questions from commissioners? Okay, our time has come. I'll now open the public hearing at 6:33. And anyone who wishes to speak, come up, give us your name and what your comments are.
I do have the sign-in sheet. I do have some people on here who did not indicate yes or no to speaking. If I call your name, did not want to speak, just say no and we'll go to the next person. Nancy Kerwin. Russell Kerwin.
Hi there. I'm a 46-year resident of the property that's about 2.5 miles from Wellington Hills.
Give us your name under the speaker.
Oh, my name is Russell Kerwin, and I say 2.5 miles from the Wellington Hills. I played golf there when it was a golf course. We moved into the Bothell area, the house that we're in now, 47 years ago. We've watched the area change so drastically over the years that it's almost unrecognizable. If you've been around Bothell at all recently, it's alarming to see what's happening to our community. This is an example of what cannot or should not be looked at as a place to develop. That golf course is pristine property, and somebody's going to want to develop it, and we have to say no. We only have so many open spaces at this time, and they are dwindling fast. And if we let the powers that be come in and destroy our whole way of life in this area, we moved there because of this. And I think it's a shame that anybody would consider that area to change. It needs to be open space. We don't have enough as it is. Take a look around. You can hardly recognize the area anymore. People that have lived there for years are really, really sad to see it all change. And we have a community there of friends who are now using Wellington Hills as kind of a off-leash dog park. And people get along. We have community gatherings there, and all of us are enjoying that property. And you can drive by there at any given time and there'll be 10, 12, 15 cars there, people walking their dogs. No problems. People pick up the litter. It's just an open space that needs to be left that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sardie Stir. Dolly Strauss. Kristen Kelly.
So good evening, everybody. I actually made it to the administration building. I'm usually on Zoom. It's much easier.
Pardon me, just a second. Make everybody, when you come up to speak, make sure you say your name when you come up.
I will say my name,
Okay,
Kristen Kelly, and I'm here representing FutureWise. And our comment letter, you should have received that, I hope, at least by today or yesterday. So we are opposing the motion to expand the multi-UGA. and I'm hoping that you will all agree. Just 9 months after the council adopted the 2024 comprehensive plan update, and after the county executive vetoed it, and then after the council did not override that veto, here it is before you again. And this is the stunning part because nothing really has changed. The motion for the multi-UGA expansion still does not meet the criteria under SCC 30.74.0602 for UGA expansions and does not comply with the Growth Management Act, the multi-county planning policies, and Snohomish County-wide planning policies. This is why you need to recommend denial. We also have some other concerns. I was listening to Ryan's presentation, and I just want to point out a few things. Just because something's zoned public institutional use doesn't mean there aren't going to be impacts. Things are going to go in there. There's going to be traffic. There's going to be uses. There's going to be environmental impacts. And they have assessed that through the 2024 comp plan update. But we do not know when these things are actually going to get, if they do go through, if that school does go in there at Wellington Hills, when is that going to happen? It could be 20 years from now, or they could sell it and then somebody come in and rezone it back into residential. That property has changed hands, and since I've been around doing land use, at least 4 or 5 times, from a developer to the county parks bought it to try to put in a big active sports park there. That went away. Now the school district owns it. There's a lot of transportation problems there. There's a lot of environmental problems that need to be assessed. And I really think this is way premature for the council to be asking for this to be reconsidered. So I do hope that you vote no on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rick Lizelle.
I don't mind that you're clapping. I understand, but this is such a formal process, and we really just want to hear people. Give us a chance, okay? And the clapping doesn't help me at all, and I don't know how the others feel about it, but we're here to respect you and listen to you. That's what counts. Go ahead. Give us your name.
My name's Ricky Lizelle. My family and I have lived on adjacent to the golf course for 30 years. I care deeply about the health and safety and future of the neighborhood. Here's a partial list of my concerns. Also, I wanted to mention this public institutional, whatever you call it. There's a big difference between a church and a recycle facility. And that's what we have been led to believe is a possibility in the golf course. Health risks, dust, emissions, odors, increased truck traffic affecting air quality and noise pollution, the environmental impacts of risks to the groundwater, wells, rivers, streams, and local wildlife, and again, air quality. For quality of life, as mentioned before, those of us who bought property there and have our homes there, our quality of life is good. We have, we can hear some traffic noise. I pretend it's the ocean. But it is, it is really a lovely place. The odors, the heavy truck traffic on the roads, property values are shown in industrial areas to be negatively impacted. The impact on the community, the facilities, the people who would run a recycle facility are not part of our community. They are big conglomerates who are trying to, make money. This is a green space, and they are extremely limited. I would request a full environmental impact study before this be considered. And this has been vetoed 9 months ago, and I don't know what the big rush is to take away that beautiful piece of of nature. And you as lawmakers are accountable to your constituents. We ask you to put our health and safety and quality of life in our community and reject that amendment. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Tori Lizelle.
I'm Tori Lizelle. I live with my parents, and so I grew up here. And I have a few questions. If I can use my time for questions. Obviously, I am similar in my views as my mother, and I really think it's a beautiful green space. And I am all for public schools, and I am all for people being on sewage. Takeaway, not septic. I think those are really great things. But I also think that I feel like it's a little misleading to put the fear of like, oh, we got to sell the park because a school's going to be built, change, rezone it, blah, blah, blah. That sounds a little dishonest because it sounds like North Shore School District doesn't have a plan to build a school there right now. And I'm not sure how this North Shore School District goes about choosing to build schools. I think that they have like a long list of properties. And so I would say if it is an issue of schools being on sewage, which again, I'm all for hooking them up to sewage, maybe that should be something that is like a separate agenda of public works to specifically put public schools on sewage or bring up a sewage line. And what was the other thing I wrote? Oh, I just have another question. It seems like when you say the properties that could be developed under the jurisdictions could be like urban, industrial, it could be commercial, public, and then just other. I'm sort of like, I feel like the other part is a little bit vague. Like, I assume under like urban industrial, that includes some of the recycle facilities, which again, I'm all for recycle facilities. I'm all for having the spaces our community needs. But it does seem like this is being pushed through by maybe not a community member. And it seems like there are a lot of just sort of vagueness that I'm not sure. I'm just kind of confused about because, again, it seems like a huge push for it is the sewage hookup for specifically.
Don't worry about it. Hang in there for a minute. Okay.
And a sewage hookup.
Just wrap it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I would. If you had another thing to say, do it.
Or just the sewage hookup for the public schools, specifically the one that Mr. Ryan has stated a bunch of times that is like bad for the environment. And so we should be hooking it up to sewage, but somehow it's not being hooked up to sewage because it needs to be attached to this specific bill. That's kind of.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Roy Lizelle. No. Dan Brown.
Daniel Brown, I live in Marwood, and I appreciate the moment to speak to trying to understand Carousel Park. Carousel Park, what was it, 2018? It was going to be a park and it was approved. I represented a lot of people from the Marwood place, and we could go to bed at night knowing that we're going to have a park there. And now we find out R9600, that is 4 homes per acre, roughly, given up plus or minus for right away. That's going to be 500 new homes in our neighborhood that we had never wanted or wanted to support. So I'm saying that the R9600 is out, as far as I'm concerned, and hopefully my neighbors will speak the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Joni Martinka.
Hi, Joni Martinka. I'm married to Dan. Our property, we built out there in 1983. So we've been established in the area for a long time. According to the Area 1 map, we are the largest landowner that abuts to Carousel Ranch. It's going to have a huge impact on our way of life. If it's part of the 81% that's going to be the public land use that isn't going to be able to be developed, why are they pushing to rezone it to R9600? That's one of my questions. The next one is, when was the rezone first floated? When was that first proposed? Was it prior to when we actually approved as a community to have it as a park and not be a development? And my understanding was that it was originally floated as a park to the community and to everybody that was involved and that it impacted, that they also, it was because Brightwater is owned by King County, put in Snohomish County, so Brightwater money was supposed to go in to kick into that park. Now we're hearing something totally different about building 500 homes on 9600, rural 9600. And, you know, we're getting squeezed from all sides. We're getting squeezed on the back from the rails to trails. They took a big chunk of our property for that. Didn't even tell us, found out later. They've made no plans. They've made no anything to keep people off of our property, to have boundaries established. There's no trespassing signs. There's no boundary signs. The trail is closed, and it's advertised not closed, but they're doing nothing about keeping people off of it. There's wildlife all over there that's being impacted. And it's like, what happened to the plan that was approved to do the sports complex at Carousel Ranch? I mean, we all thought that that was better than having 500 homes, and we went along with it. But this R9600 is totally opposite. And I don't understand how we got from what was an approved plan that everybody was on board with, and we all went to a ton of meetings, to where we're at now, saying that it's going to be the R9600. So I think I have some valid concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your comment.
Jayanand Patel.
Hey, my name is Jayanand Patel, and I'm a resident of Madby area. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Where I come from, none of this exists. So I really appreciate everybody come out and speak their mind, or provide information, or at least make a proposal. So my things are very simple. I have three straightforward reasons why I am here and what I want to say. My property is right adjacent to the Area 1, 156 acres. It falls right in my backyard. So it's not showing, my plot is not showing. And I'm right on the south side of the Madby Road, southeast side of the Madby Road. So about six, seven parcels are not considered. As if you are considering this and it's gonna go through, I would like to make a proposal to consider my plot to be R9600. I think that's so just for the consistency purposes, and maybe orderly development. Both properties share the similar access, infrastructure potential, and neighborhood contents. Rezoning them together would promote more logical compatible development for me. Fairness for my property face the same condition as the applicant parcel. It makes sense to consider both together to ensure equitable treatment and efficient use of county resources. So that's where I'm coming from. I know other neighbors has different concerns, but that's my main concern. Is that, there are only 6 parcels. If you pull up the map up there, I mean, just you have gone to make a 7,200 in a corner, that one house on Highway 9, it's about six different plots. So, I would like to make a humble request to consider that if you are going to move forward this plan. Okay, that's about it. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Michelle O'Grady.
Hi, good evening, members of the council. My name is Michelle O'Grady. I'm a Wellington neighbor. I live very close to the property that is being reconsidered as rezoning. I'm commenting on Area 2, the smaller parcel. I'm not commenting on the school district amendment. I'm commenting on the JEV amendment, the property that was recently purchased by Heidelberg Materials. The proposal to expand the urban growth boundary to include the Vangamart property for expansion of Heidelberg Materials on an additional 11.75 acres onto the edge of a residential neighborhood and proposed school will only increase the sounds of rock crushing, grinding, and scraping, not to mention an increase in dust and debris. There are health issues associated with asphalt recycling and with silica dust generated from crushing concrete. We should direct our energies to finding solutions to housing, not finding ways to expand industry into residential neighborhoods. We were informed that this expansion of JEV Recycling, now Heidelberg Materials, would be for storage of materials, but could be used for operations at some point in the future. Storage of materials? This is either a recycling center where materials come in, are crushed, purchased, and they're reused, or it is no more than a trash dump for asphalt and concrete. If it is an efficient recycler, then there are customers lined up to reuse the materials. If greater and greater amounts of storage are needed because the purchase market is so small, then it's just a trash dump. Anyone who has seen the operation, and it is easy to spot from Costco parking lot, knows that the mountain of concrete and asphalt is just getting larger and larger. The only entity that would benefit from the Vangamart proposal to rezone as an industrial zone is Heidelberg Materials, at the expense of neighbors' health and well-being. Has anyone looked at how the expansion would impact the storm drain runoff in the creek adjacent to the property? Vintage Creek spills into Little Bear Creek, a salmon stream. It is unfathomable how county leaders could think it is acceptable to expand an asphalt cement crushing business into a residential neighborhood. Growth in Woodinville is inevitable, but expanding this industrial operation is not a good use of land adjacent to a residential neighborhood. I'm not opposed to recycling these materials. I'm opposed to expanding this recycling operation, literally on top of a residential neighborhood. Including the Vangamart property in the UGA as a residential area is more in line with common sense and with the Wellington neighborhood borders. I encourage you to reject the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael O'Grady? Sean O'Grady?
Good evening, members of the council, planning commissioners, and other staff. My name is Sean O'Grady, and I'm also speaking strongly against the proposal for Area 2 of this amendment, which is, of course, dealing with the urban growth boundary for Vangamart and Heidelberg Materials by 11.75 acres. I'm a current resident in the area. I was born and raised here, and I'm a graduate at North Shore Schools. I am also someone who has loved the beauty and everything this area has to offer. From playing in the woods behind my house, which is adjacent to this property with my brother Eamon, to building a treehouse there, and additionally being near the Vintage Creek area, which runs into Little Bear Creek. My reason for being here tonight is simply regarding the future of this community. As the greater Seattle area continues to expand, natural, residential, and wetlands areas are becoming harder and harder to find. Especially with the possible introduction of North Shore Schools adjacent to this proposed region, I also urge the council to understand the terrible risks and impacts to school-aged children if the Vangamart property is allowed to expand. It already has a large property for recycling and quarry operations already, so the land proposed in Area 2 should remain a residential zone. Just as important, the environmental impacts of increased dust in the air, the sound of rock crushing machinery, and other effects are detrimental to wildlife that we have seen next to Area 2. This includes Columbia black-tailed deer, white-tailed deer, barred owls, hawks, various other bird species, coyotes, lynx, and occasional black bears, frogs, and more. These are animals that, and parts of our environment that have been here long before humans arrived. And they may even be long after we are gone. But the important part is that Washington State is very unique in the fact that we have these environmental neighbors around us, and we should do everything we can do to protect them, not serve another company. Now, I know that you, the commissioners and members of this council present tonight, all want the same thing as us. We want to make our communities better places to live. So I ask, why is this proposal being made? Does it help better the life for Snohomish County residents? No. Does it help to promote true economic growth for this region? No. Does it help to create a better future for children and men and women and everyone else of all ages? Also no to all these questions. The only one benefiting here is Heidelberg Materials, a German multinational company located in Frankfurt, Germany. So are we making this proposal for a foreign company at the expense of citizens' livelihood? In closing, I just ask that we as citizens to understand that we will not allow our neighborhoods and nature areas to become swallowed up by noise-inducing and dust-contaminating rock cycling operations. This is something that you as a council can reject and something that you can be proud of to reject. And we really urge to continue the veto that was before in striking down this proposed for Area 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Len Lebman?
Taylor, do you show anybody online that wishes to speak?
Yes.
You have a lot of people or just a few?
We have 4 at the
Okay.
moment.
Right.
In person votes.
The sign-up sheet wasn't out there. The sign-up sheet wasn't out there.
Where are you getting the names from?
He signed up under the park impact fee codes. He just
Okay.
signed up underneath the wrong one.
Oh, no,
I didn't sign anything, sorry.
It hasn't stopped you.
Well,
Go ahead.
Good evening, council. My name is Len Lebman. I'm a resident of Woodinville Cottage Lake area. Also built our house in 1983. So we're not newcomers to the area, raised a family out there. I retired 7 years ago, and I just want to give a different perspective for your awareness of how this property is impacting a lot of lives in that area. Since I retired 7 years ago, I spend several hours every single day, almost 365 days a year on that property, walking that property with my dog. And during that time, I've met a lot of people like-minded, some retired, some not, who spend nearly every single day there. A number of people that are here in this room tonight, I've met on that property. We've become a community of sorts. This property means a lot more to us than a closed golf course or future school or whatever it could become. It's a gem. It's rare to have a resource like this, a jewel like this, where people can go and meet and have friends and enjoy nature so close to home. In essence, it's become an extension of home. We meet there every day. And then on Fridays, and I invite any of you who would love to join us. Every Friday, we have a happy hour out there at 3 o'clock in the hills with our dogs. Our dogs play and we visit. Last week, there was over 30 people at 3 o'clock on Friday at happy hour. And I think we counted 31 dogs and 0 dog fights. They all got along. It's a jewel. It's a very special place to us, and it has its challenges, even in its current state. The road is not safe. We don't have adequate parking there. Since Costco opened up, traffic has increased tremendously speed limit is not observed, not obeyed. Since our last meeting that a friend and I attended, someone, I don't know if it was your doing or what, but somebody came along and posted some signs about please drive slowly.
Watch your time, okay?
Thank you.
Yep.
And we really, really do appreciate that. But I just wanted you to be aware that it is a jewel and we love it and hope it stays as it is. Thank you.
Are you talking 240th?
The Wellington Hills.
Okay, thank you.
Property 2.
Scott Hagman.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for allowing us to speak. I could say the same thing that everybody else is.
Make sure you say your name.
Oh, Scott Hageman.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I thought I said that. Never mind. Are we good to go? Thank you. Yes, I live in the area as well. Lived there for decades. I was the mayor of Woodinville for decades. This has always been the most magnificent open space park that I have ever seen. And to claim it as anything else is, I can't even put a word on it. This park and open space brings people from the whole North End to this area, the Wellington Hills area. They bring their dogs, they bring their families, they bring their kids. This kind of brotherhood we ought to have. And this is what Woodinville is all about. And to have this space erased would be criminal, to say the least. This is the most magnificent open space that we have. And we are in Woodinville, unfortunately, since we were late getting started as a city, we are below average on open space for people, our citizens, for neighbors. Yes, this is the heart of Woodinville. To make this go away would be criminal. And I'm not going to prosecute anybody. I don't do that. But it would be. It would be. Yes, we have a park down there along the slough, a small park. This is a large area where people get together, bring their families, bring their dogs. And it's like, I'm trying not to cry. It's like a coming together in the community. It's like, praise the Lord, we have this space. If this space is gone, it's like, you might as well just put a stake in the heart of Woodinville and call it good. That's how important this is to the community. And we've done a lot for it. We've put in benches. I don't go looking for people and say you're not supposed to do that. But people have put in benches and there's walking paths that are very nice. I just can't, I can't say enough about the place, and to take it away, you're putting a stake in the heart of Woodinville. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ian Wise.
My name is Ian. Sorry, my name is Ian West. I live in Woodinville, and to expand on what Scott said and what Len said, and I see a line of Wellington people here, dog walkers here. This is my second dog I've had at Wellington. This place is a really, as everyone said, it's a great place, and to take it away would be very bad for the community. Taylor, I send you some pictures. If you can put them up, that would be great. Every Friday at Len said at 3 o'clock, all of us get together and we have happy hour. This Friday is going to be meatballs on the menu. It's a community not only for the dogs, it's for me and for all of us. I've retired, and that's where I go at 8 o'clock in the morning, and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I go there to socialize with all these people behind me. on a Saturday afternoon or any time during the week, you go there, it's an outdoor studio. There's people taking wedding pictures, graduation pictures. A couple mornings ago at 7 o'clock, there was a family taking pictures. This area, I call it the 100-acre woods. There's animals there. The only animals we don't have there is piglet. It's a great area. A couple of weeks ago, I met an elderly couple walking and asked, do you have a dog? They said, no. I said, why are you walking? Because it's a beautiful area. We come here to exercise. We come here to enjoy the beauty of Wellington Hill and to have it expand, have that recycled expand to the area will be a travesty to the area. Every day we walk there and we said, we are so lucky to have this place. How long can we keep it? How long can we keep it like this? As Len said, you know, the road is very dangerous because there's so many cars going by there quickly. I invite you guys, anybody here who has a dog, come and join us in the morning at 9 o'clock or afternoon at 2 o'clock. Friday afternoon, as I said, we have happy hour. Come and join us. Come and join us and see how this place is very essential to the community, to all of us, and to expand, to take some land and give it to the recycle place will be a travesty to the whole area. I've met people from Lake Forest Park, Kenmore, Malt B, Mill Creek comes there. People from all over have come there and walk their dog. And it's a great place it's a great open space. And hopefully you guys just leave it the way it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then, did you say you wanted to sign up? Are you okay if we get through the people online real quick and then come back to you? Okay, perfect. And then before you leave, can you make sure I get your name to get you on the record? Joshua Cameron.
Joshua, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So yeah, I'm a resident in the Wellington Hills area, and you know, my wife and I and our 11-year-old daughter live here, and so I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of concerns specific to JEV recycling. So you know, I've been doing some research. You know, since we lived here, we live very close to the property, to the recycling facility. And just the health concerns that I have with air quality. So that's my main concern. Like I think it's incumbent upon us all to realize like what this could entail and what are the dangers associated with asphalt and concrete recycling. So there's potential risks in terms of air quality. There's you know, PAHs, there's asbestos, there's hydrogen sulfide, there's silica dust, there's heavy metal exposure. So rezoning this property so close to a residential area where families live, where kids play, you know, I'm concerned that this is premature. And has there been enough studies? Has the Washington State Department of Ecology done you know, studies to maintain healthy air quality for the surrounding communities? Has there been any investigation of what dust suppression would look like? So I see on my property, I see a lot of like really small dust, and I'm not an expert and I can't tell you if this is dangerous or if it's just pollen, but I would love to know more because I live here and I'm very concerned about the air quality. So I don't want to take too much time. I just want to raise the point that I have a lot of concerns in terms of what is the safety and health impact of this amendment. And I would highly urge the Planning Commission to vote no until more is learned, until there is concrete evidence that this is not a safety and health risk to the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sam Schoninger.
Yeah, hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Great. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Sam Schoninger. I'm the president of the Turner Road Association, representing 16 families living on 216th Street Southeast who lived directly across from the land in motion 25-336 for more than 40 plus years. I am opposed to the motion 25336, and I want to level with you. I know why this proposal is on the table. On paper, it looks great. 81% for public and institutional. Who can argue against schools? Who can argue against parks? I can make that case for anyone better than anyone in this room. But here's the trap. Once the UGA lines move, the whole game changes. You know it, I know it, and the developers know it. The map itself already shows R7, or 7,200 and 9,600. That's not schools. That's residential density. And public institutional is not permanent. Once that boundary shifts, all it takes is a redesignation, and those acres are housing tracts, warehouses, and traffic jams. So let's not kid ourselves. This isn't about protecting the parks or planning for schools. It's about opening the door to urbanization. And once that door opens, it never swings shut. Meanwhile, Highway 9 is already a 10-minute wait just to turn right out of our street. Drop thousands of cars and hundreds of school buses into that mix, and you've turned a dangerous road into a liability. And when commercial zones back up to 50-year-old families, you're not planning growth, you're stripping away rural character, one backyard at a time. Carousel Ranch Park was bought with Brightwater settlement money to be a community refuge. Box it in with growth, and you haven't protected it. You've betrayed it. So, commissioners, you have a choice. You can rubber stamp an expansion that looks safe on paper, but unlocks development pressures we all know are coming, or you can demonstrate that you saw through the framing and you chose long-term community over short-term spin. We're not against growth. We're against this growth in this place at this time, and the community is watching to see who's willing to call it for what it really is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry Rudy.
Terry?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Great. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Terry Rudy, and I am a 30-plus year resident of the Wellington Hills area. I live approximately half mile away from the area number 2 that's being discussed tonight. So my number one, I strongly disagree with the proposed rezone to 9,600 R9,600 for the area. The history here was that Snohomish County purchased this property to develop it into Wellington Hills County Park. Because of contentious negotiations with some community members, that plan got derailed, and ultimately, behind closed doors, without public input, Snohomish County Parks Department sold the property to North Shore School Districts. The property probably doesn't make sense for North Shore schools from a logistic standpoint or from a geographic standpoint or demand to develop property there. Subsequently, Snohomish County Parks took those funds and purchased the Carousel Ranch property. And my understanding is that did not play out because of zoning issues with native growth or water areas, protection areas and so forth. And so here we are left with nothing. And all this came from the mitigation funds from Brightwater. Currently, my perception is the closest place for me to go to a regional park would be in Willis Tucker up in Snohomish, the city of Snohomish, about 9 miles to my north, or into King County to Marymore Park down in Redmond, which is about 9 miles or more away as well. We need a regional park in our area that has dog facilities and the things that were originally planned by the Snohomish County Parks Department. And I would strongly suggest to Snohomish County to revisit the regional park strategy for this, or abide by the agreement that North Shore School District has and let the city of Woodinville have first right of refusal to acquire this property to develop it into a regional park. But it's essential that this property become a regional park for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Todd,
Go ahead, Todd.
Hello, this is Todd Bailey. I talking about Site 2 of Amendment 25 by 336. I live on 71st Drive, right next to that site. Since I've been in this area, I've grown up in this area as a child and I've lived here all my life. And now I'm retired and plan on keeping my house as a retirement place next to this property. We've been fighting this issue for over decades for this property, dating all the way back from when the university took control of the property and demolished the golf course at that time. And then eventually the university moved their property site and their satellite site, the UW University, into Bothell. At that time, once the university was going to change, we went through this whole issue way back then when the university was simply trying to rezone this property so that they could have more commercial value and basically upsell it with no concerns or anything about the citizens, residents, and neighbors of my community. This is a beautiful site. It's pristine. It's very hard to find 100 pure acres of natural, gorgeous property in the area. And the community and my neighbors have come together to take care of this property. And it's very rare to see where a community actually comes together and works together, but they've been working together to take care of this property, maintaining the trails, the peace and harmony of this area. We already face extreme pollutions and they're dealing with the concrete recycling plant, the dust and everything that brings up. We also have noise pollution that comes up from the valley, very apparent in the evenings and the early morning times. Commercial vehicles and trucks start honking their horns to get the gates of the other industrial park and facilities down there to open up. And this starts at 4 a.m. and continues all the way through. And then we also have the light pollution that comes up at night from the industrial parks and the community down in the valley. We need to preserve this site and do what we can to keep this and to come together. And one of the factors of Brightwater going to this area is that we would have these type of sites to be maintained and preserved. And I'm also with everyone else saying that we should preserve this as a park area and keep it a natural environment and park for the community, the neighbors, and the residential citizens of unincorporated Snohomish County. I appreciate your time tonight and thank you.
Thank you.
Kat Gustafson.
Go ahead, Kat.
Hi, sorry. My name is actually Kathleen Gustafson, and I'm a resident in Woodinville, Washington by Snohomish County area. I want to address some information that I would love to the community be aware of. The County Council Executive has already said that this rezoning isn't needed to support growth through 2044. This would put more traffic on heavy congested roads. There will be significant additional greenhouse gas emissions and lies near the headwaters of Little Bear Creek. Quoted by him, Little Bear Creek is a vital ecosystem and plays a crucial role in filtering runoff and replenishing groundwater. SnoCo declared Snowwood Road at full capacity in 1997, and conditions have only worsened. Rush hour traffic is already gridlocked. Adding more pressure would be reckless. At the recent community gathering, Jared Mead stated he agreed with the growth of the North Shore School District UGA expansion because, quote, we need more schools. The NSD settlement agreement for the Wellington site states that the location will accommodate 1,200 full-time students with a planned capacity expansion of up to 1,500 students. The truth is, NSD does not have the funds to support the so-called growth. Taken from the NSD site in the 24-25 budget development, as October 2023, the current expected shortfall is $26 million. Their deficit causes is enrollment is down, state underfunding of public schools, inflation outpaces education investment. I suspect the push to expand the UGA is less about community growth and more about NSD trying to cash out, offloading land for a massive payday just to dig themselves out of debt. The recycling facility is asking to add the Vangermert parcel over 11 acres to the UGA so they can expand operations and process more concrete and asphalt. But here's the contradiction. We were told a sewer system is necessary to protect Little Bear Creek, yet expanding a concrete and asphalt recycling facility somehow poses no threat to drainage, water quality, or wildlife. How does that even add up? The urgency to expand the recycling facility in the UGA is being driven by lucrative state tax incentives that makes industrial growth highly profitable. Traffic in the area is already set to increase with plans for a private school near 224th Street Southeast, just minutes around from the proposed UGA expansion site. The school aims to build a long-term facility for over 500 students, including a gym, sports field, and extensive parking for staff, students, and buses. As of 24-25 enrollment withstands out of 403 students, not including staff, and childcare classes run year-round from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. with no cap on future growth. Their footprint could expand significantly over time. There's no compelling reason to make this change, and every reason to protect what we have. The cost to our environment, our neighborhoods, and long-term sustainability would be too far high. There is no growth near NSD property site. All new growth is downtown and in Monroe School District. I would like the community to also know that the Vangermers, former owners of the JEV, which also resides next to the recycling facility, and Kimberly Horn are the ones petitioning the UGA and not the majority of the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kat. Appreciate it.
Mickey Gunderson.
Mickey, go ahead.
My name is Mickey Gunderson. My family moved to Woodinville in 1946. I graduated from Woodinville Grade School, the one you can barely see now, but we went there all 8 years. And so I consider myself a Woodinvilleite. I travel up 240th, coming from further north in Snohomish County about 3 or 4 times a month. And I've driven up there and seen the dust coming off of that recycling site. And it's up 50 or 60 feet into the air. And I live where there's a lot of development, and it's the developers that are developing and building houses are not allowed to let the dust from their machines travel off of their property. So they have water trucks and they're spraying it all the time just to keep the dirt dust down. This isn't cement or asphalt dust. And to have such a pristine area like Wellington Hills, right above it, actually, you should probably move that concrete site someplace else so that the people that are recreating up there aren't having to breathe that. But when I drive through there, I see people. I don't ever see any problems. In fact, you can't see a lot of people because it's such a vast area and people are spread out. And it's one of the kind of things that we can't find. I mean, when I grew up in Woodinville, it was all truck farms and vegetables. And now I'm watching the development build out over this fabulous soil that's, an old peat bog. And, we're putting buildings on top of it. And we have to stop destroying all of our beautiful natural places. When you drive up through that road on 240th, you can't help but notice these huge, gigantic evergreen trees. And I have a lot of evergreens on my property, but one of the things I'm noticing is that my cedars are dying, and because of the lack of rain. And I don't think that 100 or 200 years from now, we're going to see these large trees. I don't think that we're going to be able, the rain isn't there to support the growth of these magnificent trees. And to take all of that down, I haven't heard anybody talk about the trees, but I know that's part of the beautiful thing that they walk through. And to go through there and take down all those trees, even to put a school on there, is not a good idea. And, it needs to stop. That I used to know the Vangermerts. I don't remember the name now, the people that own that site, but that needs to be, I think, shut down. I see they've had a lot of violations. It appears to me that continue to have violations and nobody's doing anything about it. And it shouldn't be there anymore. I mean, people live there and that needs to go. When that was originally put up, there weren't so many people in Woodinville in homes that have been built since then. So I definitely oppose it. And I guess that was mostly what I want to talk about. So thank you for having the hearing.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Clay White.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. My name is Clay White, and these comments are being provided in support of motion 25336. Specifically, these comments address the parcels owned by the North Shore School District and Vangermert properties. Just want to note, John and Amy, John and this family have owned this property for over 100 years, so they're pretty invested in the community. And some of the comments about their business, and I'm just personally pretty insulted. They've run a really good business for a long time that recycles materials so they don't go to the dump. If you'd like to learn more about it, please reach out because we'd be happy to answer your questions. But to be here tonight, the following provides an overview of the outline, the reasons why this motion was brought forward, and why it's a proactive measure that will have a positive impact on the environment and future schools. Snohomish County sold the former Wellington property of the North Shore School District for use as future school site. The North Shore School District and Vanderbilt properties are currently zoned Rural 5. Under the current zoning, schools are an allowed use. Therefore, schools may be built regardless of this motion being approved by the County Council. And it was mentioned earlier, right up the street, Ruby Bridges Elementary School was recently built in the R5 zone on a septic system right next to Little Bear Creek. One of the planning commissioners had a question about if they don't have a plan to build a school right now, why would we consider this? That's specifically why it's coming up, so that you can take this action before they have a plan to build schools so that they're put on sewer. The Vanderbilt properties are being included in this motion because including the North Shore School District properties in the UGA alone would create a donut hole, which is not permitted under county policy. Bringing the North Shore School District properties into the UGA has at least 3 positive effects. Under the current zoning, future schools would have to utilize large on-site septic systems. Bringing the properties into the UGA would require the use of sewer. Hooking up to sewer cannot occur if these properties are not brought into the UGA. Hooking up to sewer is better for the environment, protection of Little Bear Creek, and is most cost-effective for taxpayers. Being in the UGA requires the schools to be built to urban rather than rural standards for improvements such as roads and sidewalks. This would create a safer environment for kids accessing future schools. Being in the UGA severely limits any future use of the property. Per Snohomish County Comprehensive Plan, where land is added to the UGA and is designated public institution, only churches, schools, parks, government buildings, utility plants, and other government operations could be permitted. You cannot rezone the property and have that happen. But if you want to understand what can happen under the current zoning today, under the current zoning, schools are allowed. So are community facilities for juveniles, housing, mineral excavation is allowed, health and social service facilities, lumber mills, motocross tracks, and sanitary landfills can be built under the current zoning. This is a proactive measure to ensure that if schools are proposed and built, if they meet all the requirements.
Clay, can I stop you?
Standards.
Clay, can I stop you just for a second?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to go on or are you done? I mean, I need you to wrap it up, okay?
Yeah, I was just.
It's not that we don't hear you, respect you. We just need you to follow like everybody else has done.
Yep, it hit 0. I'm done.
Okay. Well, take it a little bit more. You had a little bit more to go.
Oh, I guess just the biggest thing, just wanting to make sure is that, I mean, the gist of this is that schools are allowed on another zoning, and we're trying to make sure that if they're built, they're hooked up to sewer instead of septic, that they're built to the right standards so kids are safe. I think that there's a misunderstanding that under current zone, you can't do anything. And if the zoning's changed, you can. There are more uses allowed under the current zoning and more impactful uses than there are if this change is made. Thank you very much. I hope you consider this motion and recommend approval.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comments.
Carlo Reyes.
Carlo, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, so good evening. My name is Carlo Reyes. As I stated, I live in the Marwood neighborhood in Maltby. So if you don't know what Marwood, if you're not familiar with Maltby or Marwood, it butts up right against Carousel Park. So my family's lived here for about 5 years, and so we deeply care about the Maltby neighborhood. We moved here from Bothell, where our cars were getting broken into, our houses were getting broken into. So that was due to urbanization. So I want to talk about 4 different things. Number 1, urbanization threat, right? So the proposal, it's not just about a boundary line. It's about opening up Maltby to urbanization. It's once you rezone rural land for urban use, you can never go back. What starts, obviously as a change around Marwood Place could snowball into dense housing, more traffic, more crime, etc. We all know that. Number 2, there's nature and legal protections. So Marwood Place, it's surrounded by trees. Carousel Park surrounded by trees, by wildlife. And so under RCW 36.70A.172, the county must use the best available science to protect critical areas. So I want you all to consider that. Obviously, I talked about the crime and public safety. Urbanization brings public safety challenges, denser development. In rural transition areas, it's been tied to like higher property crime, disturbances. So Marwood's a really close-knit community. We all know our neighbors. We have our kids go at each other's houses. We do not want that to change. That is the reason we moved to this neighborhood. So and then lastly, I want to talk about traffic and infrastructure. Highway 9, Malby Road, SR 522. It's already over capacity. I don't hear anything about the infrastructure changes or anything from the council that would, planning ahead of that with these zoning changes. So in closing, I appreciate the effort to protect the parks that we initially talked about with Carousel Park, but please reconsider the amendments for the zoning. Thank you.
And thank you.
Linda.
Linda, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Linda Gray, and I live in unincorporated Snohomish County. Thank you for the opportunity to comment on amended motion 25-336. I support FutureWise and the reasons given by Executive Summers on December 12, 2024, for vetoing a similar amendment, ordinance 24-101. Our community is united in opposing the county's attempt to resurrect an amendment that lacks justification, serves no purpose, and was introduced by a council member who does not represent this district at the request of Heidelberg Materials. Some council members argue that placing this NSD property within the urban growth area with a parks / institutional land use designation will protect it from housing development. However, this action will not genuinely safeguard the land or the community, as being included in a UGA increases the property's appeal for large-scale development. And we all know that a change today can be changed again tomorrow. This action also disregards the fact that Heidelberg Materials has a long history of being an irresponsible neighbor, with 82 violations and 24 enforcement actions against it. The Planning Commission and the Council should not grant Heidelberg Materials an additional 11 acres to develop, as this would further compromise the Little Bear Creek watershed. Additionally, the statement that putting it into the UGA would protect it can be changed in the same fashion once it's in the UGA, and there's more incentive to move to heavy development once this land is now worth more. Amended motion 25-336 exempts this property from SEPA because of the non-project SEPA done for the comp plan and because it is now in the UGA. If it remains in the R5, then SEPA would have to be done. So moving this into the UGA makes development easier. Building to urban standards does not make this area safer for students. There's no way the North Shore School District will pave the entire 75th Avenue. This is not a walking area, and North Shore School District doesn't expect their students to walk now for schools in the area unless the schools are right across the street from their home. So everybody is bused in this area. I urge you to reject amended motion 25-336, a proposal that violates the Urban Growth Act and threatens the heart of our community. If passed, it will significantly damage our neighborhoods, local businesses, environment, and families. Thank you for the opportunity to comment.
And thank you very much.
Colton Jensen.
Hey, good evening, council members. This is Colton Jensen. Thank you for the time tonight to speak with you guys. This is in reference to the changes to Area 1. So just some context, I'm also in the Marwood area, moved here about 6 years ago, and I think my representation is really just from as a father of 4 kids. The idea to be able to move out to the Woodinville area was an opportunity for us to have a family, have space, and also have the opportunity for recreation. And I think if nothing else, other than many of the great comments that have been made already, just kind of foremost from my perspective, I understand why the opportunity to rezone might seem like it wouldn't cause too much of a problem, but I think as another member, Sam, had mentioned, is by opening up any gate tends to open up the floodgates. And so my appeal is really that the parks are designed to help support recreation within our community. And I think if nothing else, as a father, what we want to see is our kids have the space and the capacity to be active and to be able to go out and be outside with the age of the internet and all of the things that are forcing them inside. I think that is probably the greatest appeal to, just from a human level, to be able to allow our kids the space and the ability to function. And I worry that by rezoning the area around Carousel Ranch Park, it is only going to allow those zones to encroach, and therefore ultimately changing either into urbanization or into more of an industrial capacity, whereas the park has been kind of would be, I think, the lifeblood of this greater community area. And so I move to, I guess, reject the motion to amend the zoning changes for Area 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the last of the hands online. If we wanted to move back to those who did not speak in person.
Very good.
Did you still want to speak?
Anyone here that wants to speak?
Yes. Microphone, though, right?
I can't speak from my chair, but my name's Rod Turner. I too live in the Marwood area since 46 years lived there. And I more have questions for this zoning stuff. You guys this is single family dwellings throughout. And now all of a sudden they're going to put multifamily housing. Is that what I'm understanding is coming with that? Like they did in Maltby, that was designated that same type of area. All of a sudden now there's apartments there. We don't have a sewer system. There is no sewer that runs up through there that you guys want to hook this Ruby's Bridges Elementary School. There's no sewer on that side. There is no sewer up Highway 9. Brightwater is a sewer treatment plant for King County. So in order for all these places to go on sewer, they're going to have to put one in. And that's the way this was sold to us. That I know of, the sewer system you want to hook up is non-existent. So is that in the equation of all these people doing the development? Are they going to put this sewer line in? Are they going to pay for this, or how are you going to build that infrastructure? That's more of a question for you guys. I want to plan these. And furthermore, the Carousel Ranch was purchased with mitigation money from Brightwater because it's a King County item. It doesn't serve us in Snohomish County. So I guess, again, it's a question, how can you take the mitigation from that impact to the neighborhood and then develop it and sell profit off of that? I thought mitigation terms were to mitigate the loss of the land for the treatment plant that got put there that wasn't for people from the county. Those are my questions that I have, so I'll let you go.
Okay, thank you. Anyone here remaining who'd like to? Yeah, come on up. Give us your name.
Hi, my name is Nancy Kerwin, and thanks for having me. I'm new to all of this, so I can't give all the numbers and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate what everybody has said tonight, and I have the same opinion. We need our open spaces. I think you guys need to go take a drive up to Wellington. That road is ridiculous. I mean, it's curved, it's a hill, there's no sides. The fact that we're even thinking about bringing in recycling up that hill is shocking. It's appalling. There's aquifers up there on that hill. Has environmental studies even been done up there? It's just, what about our canopy of green space, our canopy of trees, breathing? The people that have brought up the impact of the grinding of the rocks, I didn't even know about that. I mean, I know about that plant down there, but it's just something somewhere along the line has to be saved. And the fact that we would allow a company in Germany to move up the hill of something that is in the United States that's a park, I'm shocked.
Thank you very much. Anybody else wish to speak at this time?
I didn't finish.
Come on back up. Come on back up. Better say your name again.
Rod Turner. My comments were along the lines she reminded me of is the aquifer. And that was a big issue when Brightwater went there. And the sewer that they did put in was put in for industrial purposes behind that to ensure that they didn't pollute our aquifer, which is a community well owned by Cross Valley Water Association. Former association, now they're a big time district and sewer district because of that. And I think the aquifer issues for that development is a big deal. They do, there is an aquifer that runs through there that our wells are on. And the more development, you're absolutely correct. We're going to contaminate it at some point.
Thank you. Yeah, come on up.
Bob, just as why we do have people online raising their hand now.
Okay. Be sure to give us your name.
Quick.
Say your name.
Emily Martinka, I live in the Marwood area. We abut up to Area 1. So I guess I would be curious of all the people that took the time to come down here and that are online to voice their concerns and urge this project to be rejected. How many people in this room would vote to have it rejected right now? I would say it would be unanimous. I mean, there was one person online that was for. Everybody else wants this rejected. I think that should be a big deciding factor in when you guys meet among yourselves and come up with your vote, please. Thank you.
Thank you. You said you have some folks online?
Yes. Terry Thompson.
Go ahead, Terry.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Terry Thompson. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the Turner's Road Association, and Sam and I represent 16 households and families. I live on 216th Street, directly across from the area proposed for the Maltby UGA expansion under motion 25-336. And I want to strongly oppose this proposal. It erases our rural buffer. Planned community business zoning would back directly up to longstanding rural properties, some over 50 years old. And I'm looking at paperwork right now that this area was incorporated, Turner's Road Association, back in 1972. And there are still members that live here that were here when it was originally incorporated. So it's a very longstanding area. And if the rezoning could possibly negatively impact, we'd lose our privacy, our quiet, the character. This green space, our area and the spot across the road, the Carousel Ranch, supports many species, including deer, bear, wildcats, herons, just a ton of different species of animals. And they risk being injured or killed when they want to cross Highway 9. Cutthroat Creek and its wetlands run through this land, the Carousel Ranch, and state law requires that critical areas be protected. High density housing and commercial development would place these sensitive areas at risk. And I know that I heard that, this area, even though they're going to be zoned 9,600 and 7,200, and that would allow utility plants or government buildings. Like, that's a good thing, not to me. Churches and schools, less bad, but parks, which was what we were promised when we originally had the Brightwater Mitigation Agreement. The Carousel Ranch Park was purchased with community settlement funds to serve the people here. Packing urban growth around it betrays the intent of that commitment. Commissioners, this is not smart growth. It's premature, it's unnecessary, and it's harmful to the long-established rural community. This green space, it's a real thing. And you talk about people wanting to plant trees in Seattle to try and get it back. We have it here. So let's keep it. On behalf of my neighbors, I urge you to recommend that the council reject this UGA expansion. Thank you for your time and for listening.
Thank you very much.
That was the last of the hands.
Okay, so nobody else online, anyone here wishes to speak at this time? Come on up.
Hello, I'm Jeffrey Craig. I just thank you for your time today, and I haven't done much public speaking, but I just, if I may do a personal anecdote about this dog park. We happened upon this, my wife and I happened upon this in late June, and one of the things that I told her was like, wow, this is one of life's great joys, you know. Yeah, I don't have anything else other than that to say. Just like the people previously said, it's created such a wonderful community, and we wouldn't have been able to been involved with anything like this if it didn't exist. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else wishes to speak at this time? Okay, I want to thank you all for coming and speaking tonight. And I will close the public hearing at 7:49. And there's a caveat with that we need to discuss this among ourselves and vote tonight. So this is your chance to talk. Other than this, it's a very formal process and we need to close off the public comments. So please, if you want to say something, now's your chance. Okay, come on up. Public hearing's still open.
I didn't understand. Are you actually going to vote tonight?
Yes, we are.
So it will
Absolutely. This is a recommendation to county council.
determined tonight.
The recommendation will then move forward to the council, who will then have.
Oh,
additional
okay.
Hearing and an additional vote, where it could be either overridden,
Okay.
approved,
Yeah.
denied, or another.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is just a recommendation. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm concerned about, I think we've seen this before, is this is sincere conversation. This is you guys are telling us what you think, and it comes from a important place in all of our lives, where you're coming from. And what I've seen happen before is folks will come and testify in front of a planning commission. We make a recommendation, but a lot of them don't show up at the actual hearing in front of the decision makers. We make recommendation, we don't make decisions. So consider this as important as it is. I don't want you to you've spent all your energy and you're done. This is round one. Watch that schedule when the county council meets. And can you get any better? I don't know. I mean, but don't call it the end. Okay, that's all I'm asking. This is anybody we see people come through, we want you to stay involved in it all the way through. And it's not easy. Did you have a comment?
My name is Mike O'Grady, and I live in the Wellington Hills neighborhood. I read a letter to the Woodinville City Council. This is a few years ago. If you go back, New York City was overrun in the mid to late 1800s. And there's a bunch of leaders there that saw the problem. When people wanted fresh air, they went to cemeteries. They saw the problem, and they established a half-mile by a mile park in the middle of the largest city in the country. We now have 104 acres of pristine land. And 100 years from now, are they going to say the Snohomish County Council made the right decision? And they're going to look at your leadership versus just running this over with development like everything else is done. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on up.
Ricky Lozelle. I would encourage anyone who's at all interested to drive up there. Drive up there, look at this piece of land, and you will just be shocked by the beauty of it and the peace that's up there. So, take a little drive. Thank you.
Thanks. Watch online for county council. There, watch that webpage. Yeah.
Stay. If you stay, we'll talk about it. We'll discuss. Someone will maybe put forward a motion. We may amend things. We may recommend one thing or denial or the other. So that's what's next.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Seeing none, once and for all, we'll close the public hearing at 8:53. At this time, we go into discussion and then motion and then a vote. And because we have three separate docket items here, we have the county land use amendments, transportation plan, and amendment motion 25336 for Maltby. My recommendation, and this is just tossing this out, let me know what you guys think, but we could do discussion, motion, and vote on each of these separate items, separate them out, so that the first item before us will be county land use amendment, and we would need a motion, discussion, and vote on that separately. Then we'll go to item 2, which will be transportation. So right now, county land use amendment, and this is, yes, this is a complement. We go into discussion at this stage.
I just wanted to clarify that the projects, the Planning and Development Services and Public Works, so those would be one motion together, and then the council would be a separate. So there would be two.
Okay, so a land use amendment and transportation plan go together?
Correct.
Okay, very good.
And,
So
as well as the housing
now we're
element.
just looking at one.
If I may, can I make a motion to divide the question into the council portion with the Maltby question and then the other two sections of the urban growth amendment, the planning department and the transportation? So those two would be voted on together, and then there would be a separate vote on the Maltby.
So you suggest we do Maltby first?
No, I'm just saying that my motion is just to divide the question so that there would be two separate votes. Yeah. Just like you were talking about.
Yeah, we've already decided that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay,
Apologize.
so, yeah. Okay, I was trying to listen to something else there. So county land use amendment transportation plan is a single action. And for that, to deal with that, we can have discussion, motion, and vote. So discussion, as this is combined, land use element, transportation plan, discussion. Go ahead.
I don't have much more on discussion. I would, unless there is more discussion, make a motion to approve the county land use amendments, which were proposed by Planning Development Services 1 through 4, and the transportation amendments that we discussed tonight as one motion.
So we have a single motion to approve land use amendment and transportation plan as a single motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Campbell, seconded by Commissioner Ash. Taylor, would you please call the roll?
Before that, I'm just going to pull it up on screen so that you guys can verify what I have down is what you guys want.
I just want to clarify, would be affecting the land use element, the housing element, and the transportation elements. Yep.
As the maker of the motion, yes.
Understood.
And the urban core separated plan.
Okay.
All of which are all part of one document, which is the county's comprehensive plan. So you can
Right.
these are
Okay.
the amendment to the county comprehensive plan.
So basically, we just separated out Maltby separately. Okay, Taylor, go ahead, call the roll.
Just to verify, the wording on the screen is what you guys want.
Yes.
Hillary,
I think I'm okay with it.
Hillary, does that work? We're good? We're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Commissioner Ash,
Yes.
Commissioner Bastide,
Yes.
Commissioner Bush,
Yes.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chandler,
Yes.
Commissioner Larson,
Yes.
Commissioner Namella,
Yes.
Commissioners Severs,
Yes.
Commissioner Sheldon.
Yes.
Okay, we have unanimous approval. So recommend approval of comprehensive plan amendments as submitted by staff. And thank you very much for being here tonight, staff. We appreciate it. Now, our next item is amended motion 25336 Maltby and discussion on that before we move to motion and a vote. What's our discussion? Anybody wish to say anything?
I'll say something.
Okay, Commissioner Campbell.
I appreciate everyone coming in, and I have a long history on this one going back also. Many of you have much longer history than I do, but in terms of trying to sort out what was going on with the Wellington Hills for a park, the mitigation money purchasing Carousel Ranch, which is still in its master planning stages, and trying to understand kind of what is the real public benefit right now for recommending approval of both. I think it's a combined motion of Area 1 and Area 2 right now. I feel a little bit conflicted about it because I think that there are some benefits. In some ways, we can't unwind what private property purchases have already been done, so that their North Shore School District already owns it. Heidelberg owns that other portion of it. Carousel Ranch was purchased by Snohomish County Parks to the benefit that was required as a result of Brightwater. So some of the underlying property ownership we can't affect. All we do is look at the zoning issues in a motion that's been sent to us. And then, if others want to make a motion for approval of it as it is, you can. But at this point, how I feel about it is, one is that the county executive vetoed a very similar proposal. This is also a time when we were considering, as we did tonight and just approved, minor amendments. So this is a major revision out of sequence. And I'm having trouble understanding why we need to do that at this point. I don't feel a pressure to do it. I don't think North Shore School District is in a rush. As I know, as a developer, it will be very difficult to be able to create the plans and the cost for building out that road, which is incredibly challenging. When we looked at the Wellington Hills Park, that road is very narrow. It is very dangerous. It's overused, and to be able to create urban level services will be quite expensive. So the disposition of that property still remains to be seen. And so in some way, I'm feeling like we should either defer this because it should wait until it's been fully vetted with the county executive, with Planning Development Services already deciding that it's not consistent, and it sounds like the county executive would veto it again. So I'm in a position where I think it should be deferred.
Any other discussion at this time? Commissioner Sheldon.
I know how the alphabet goes on voting, so I just don't see all the answers that we need on this. I just want to say that for the record.
Other discussion? Mr. Chamber.
There's two things that are running through my head. One is, if you look at the settlement agreement, it refers to the first right of refusal on that land. I have heard nothing of Woodinville's position on that. Would they even be in a position to purchase the land? What is the community involvement with the relationship to the city of Woodinville over this parcel? Two, as we looked tonight, I see no future development plans by the North Shore School District to even consider this land for future development. So I'm really struggling with why we would rezone land without anything even potentially on a board other than, essentially by the prime landowner, which would be the North Shore School District. Now, if they were here saying, we have two schools that we would like to develop and we are in need of X, Y, and Z, that would certainly draw my attention. But at this point, I concur with my counterpart here. I don't think there's enough answers to the questions as to why a rezone is needed right now when 9 months ago it was rejected. That's my position.
Okay, other discussion? Commissioner Ash.
Yeah, I kind of torn on this thing for several reasons. I was early on when I was on the planning commission. This Wellington Park thing came up and there was a lot of discussions about it then. And I know the Parks Department walked in and they had a beautiful sports complex showing and everybody was pretty excited about that. And then I haven't tracked the history, but it looks like promises have been broken and all of a sudden now we got the school district wanting to build schools there supposedly. I mean, and I think that would be a good thing if that's what they were going to build, if that actually happens. One of the problems is that, I know there was a lot of very compassionate testimony given on for several reasons. I mean, that industrial facility that has apparently been violating air quality and possibly water quality rules, and they should be held more accountable. But the schools, we have a housing affordability issue also in this Puget Sound region, Snohomish County, and most counties in most of the country. Several million houses under what are needed in the United States. But schools, if you take the urban growth area in this state, it only covers 3.7% of the state. 70% of the state is agricultural and forest land. Then big portion is rural land. I know that people here have a beautiful kind of oasis in a kind of an urban area, and I'm sure that they'd love to keep it that way. But there are some people that are unrepresented, and that's the people that the growth is, who need to buy new homes or who want to buy new homes. So I'm just asking maybe that the commissioners consider some of the other side of this, and that's that schools, when they go into urban areas, they end up eating up a lot of land, which then displaces more housing. And housing on 3.7% of the site, that's kind of, it's a supply and demand issue for land. So that creates a lot of housing affordability problems. If the school actually was going to come out here, that would take the pressure off of them trying to buy up other urban land where houses could be built. So I don't know, I'm torn on this. I just want the commissioners to sort of consider both sides. I think there's been promises broken. I was all in favor of that beautiful sports facility that was going to go into Wellington Park at one time. So anyway, that's my, I guess, 2 bits.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, I'll just throw something out. I'm looking at the executive veto where he talked about environmental harm, legal challenge, not needed relative to existing UGA. Council motion, when I read that, it sounded reasonable. Safety for kids is a big deal. Urban standards matter for that way. Sewer to school, recycle, expansion, they're saying that's no big deal. And then the existing policy, I read that and I see where there's no alignment with the current proposal relative to existing policy. And I think we're hanging out with that. That concerns me. And under the rules that cover these sort of things, we have a year to deal with this, not just 90 days. And I'd like to see the county council split out the park, the recycle, the school, and deal with those separately and really get some good answers to that and maybe bring it back to us. Right now, I understand what's being said here. There is a tremendous need for housing. We're seeing that all around the county. As a commission, we see it a lot. But this particular action looks like it's not right to me. I'm concerned we're going to jump out and we're just going to get another veto. And I think that work could be done. We could bring it back and get some reassurances on things and have a better understanding and see where we stand at that time. Any other discussion? Mr. Campbell.
Well, I was trying to think then, if we deny it, if we have a motion to deny, then it's saying we don't think that it's beneficial in some way, which I think it can be. But if we just move to either defer or to recommend that it be reviewed further, which is kind of where I'm leading rather than to deny, is to defer it back to the Planning Development Services and for the parties to really review some of the different issues that come up. But
Commissioner Bastide.
I was also on the fence. I know that we had originally voted to approve this back for the comp plan. But I think just, hearing more information that it was denied by the council or the county executive, with all the public comments, the concerns with the expanding of that concrete recycling, which they've already slightly expanded into the R5 parcel that's right adjacent to them, which I didn't have a chance to look if that's to code or not. But so personally, I think at this point in time, I would vote for denial.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Bush. No, there's no motion at this time. Commissioner Bush.
I'll just briefly say that at this motion, the way it has been being brought up again the second time with very few changes after it's already been vetoed. The questions that I have about the school district purchase and the seeming, I looked up the comprehensive plan for the school district. They say there's no plan to build a school there. And the first right of refusal, if Woodinville can't afford that lot, I don't know what happens to it, but presumably anyone could buy it. And so I just have concerns about the way it's all happening. And it just seems to me like there's more information that I would like to have to vote yes on this. And we do not have that information at this time. And I feel like the way it's being presented all together, there's a lot of different issues going on. And the fact that the department and staff also seemed to have concerns about this and that there wasn't proper evaluations and it wasn't following normal procedure and policy for this kind of thing. And it's coming early when this kind of change to the urban growth area would normally happen, not right now. It something just feels off, and I would want more information to be anything other than a deny.
Okay, more discussion? It sounds like we're circling around deferral or deny. Which way do we want to go?
Defer.
That was Commissioner Ash.
That then leads to other questions. What's going to be, if we defer it, deferring it for what? What are we asking them to then rearrange or take another look at or just really describe what we are then going to be brought back before us?
Commissioner Campbell.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Jeff, you done? Okay.
Well, a deny is then they have to go back and figure it out. So in some ways, defer sounds confusing, whereas deny says we're not ready yet.
Yeah.
So in some ways, if we just deny it, then it's clear and they have to come back with something else, probably when we go through the major revisions for the comp plan, which is what I would prefer. So if it's buckled in with the major revisions, then I feel like it's not being rushed. So I'm seeing some nodding heads. I know Merle's kind of in the deferral. I was in the deferral space for a little bit here. I'm now shifting into denial. And so I would make a motion to deny the recommended 25336 revision to the comp plan for the Maltby area.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion to deny amended motion 25336 Maltby, and we have a second from Commissioner Namella. And Taylor, would you please call the roll?
We have
a question for staff. If this were to be approved by council, and let's just say the county executive supported it, what happens PSRC? Like we've been given guidelines, so it goes to the Growth Management Hearing Board. What happens?
Actually, I'd call it, maybe Darren, you know more about that process.
Yeah. If it went to GMHB, I don't know
how to make the argument for support. So yes, it could pass, and yes, it could be adopted and not vetoed and all of that happening. The ability to make the argument at this moment for strong representation in front of the GMHB, I think you've read the analysis that the department has put forward on the area, and GMHB only has the opportunity to look at it from a GMA perspective under LUPA. So there isn't a whole lot of leniency, I think, to try to get a decision from them.
Right. Yeah, I don't see a lot of procedural issue with this. It's a question of whether or not we support it. And I'd love to see, and I'm not sure even a denial kills it, but the park issue, the recycle issue, and the school issue, we're not there. I really want to see more. So right now we have a motion to deny.
And second.
And seconded, and we can move, if everybody's okay, we'll move to the vote. Go ahead, Taylor, call the vote. This is motion to deny, so a yes is to deny.
Commissioner Sievers,
Yes.
Commissioner Sheldon,
Yes.
Commissioner Namella,
Yes.
Commissioner Larson,
Yes.
Commissioner Chandler,
Yes.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yes.
Commissioner Bastide,
Yes.
Commissioner Bush,
Yes.
and Commissioner Ash.
I guess I'm on an island of nay.
Okay, we have the vote passes to deny the action. 25336 Maltby is moved to deny as a recommendation. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming and for fellow commissioners. Okay, Commissioner, we got one more thing.
Yep.
Item 4, motion 25405, allowing reduced setbacks for covered parking. And this is a, Ryan, is this a briefing?
This is a briefing.
Okay, briefing from Ryan. Go ahead.
It'll be quick, I promise. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Okay, Ryan Himbry, Council Policy Analyst, Land Use Policy Analyst. This is for proposed rural village garage setback, motion 25-405. If you might remember back a couple, 2023, the rural village housing demonstration project went through. And part of the problem was that there were the parking and garage setbacks were too much, or that people were finding. And so this was actually drafted by Ryan Countryman prior to him leaving. And so I am ushering it through. And so this is, again, looking for feedback input by Planning Commission and PDS. So just a little background, the Rural Village Housing Demonstration Project allows buildings with 3 to 4 housing units in exchange for preserving a minimum of 85% of the site in rural open space. And it's limited to sites in the R5. And these are actually exact verbiage from the original 2023 slide. So, but just kind of give you some kind of more background because it's been a while. It's only allowed on sites 100 acres of R5, not allowed in the Tulalip Reservation or designated, local commercial farmland. There's a maximum number of homes that is the same as a rural cluster subdivision, and that's something I think very important, and allows housing or attached housing up to 4 units, and so quite different from the rural environment. Basically, this would add a new this in the motion has embedded as an exhibit the ordinance, and it would have a new section. And I don't know if you want me to fully read it, but essentially it provides a minimum setback of 5 feet from the public or road for the covered parking area, which is a garage. A minimum of 0 feet from a drive aisle, shared court, or shared driveway or alley. And then the vehicle entrance to the covered parking structure shall not be located between 9 and 19 feet from a divided road network element. Also, the entrance to a covered parking structure, a garage, that's located at least 19 feet from the abutting road element, may have upper story floors project 4 feet horizontally. So that's cantilevered over. The applicant, if they've already gone through the project and it's kind of been completed, they can voluntarily request a waiver to the department requesting Department of Review the development application under this ordinance. And then all other development regulations could be in effect to the date of the original development application. And if there were changes that they wanted to make based on the new setbacks, that they would be considered a minor revision. And that's basically it. There's a real life, something happened, the best plans put out and changes need to be made.
Thanks, Ryan. Questions for Ryan at this time?
Yeah, I don't.
Briefing. Yeah, so it'll be next planning commission when the hearing is set.
Commissioner Hash, did you have something?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't have as much of a question. I guess it's going to be a question to sort of maybe better explain exactly what the purpose was. The rural cluster, I'm going to have to probably excuse myself from the vote on this thing because I was involved in getting this project, I guess, approved. And it's what's going on is that the rural village concept here has townhomes in a real close, tight-knit village. They have parking that is separate. So it's going to be much like an apartment. The parking area is much like that in an apartment project. And it's what happened was there was a little piece in the code that said in the rural area there had to be a 20-foot setback. So that's a 20-foot setback for the garage, which would have required a 20-foot driveway into the garage, which would have eaten up more space, I guess you'd say, that could have been used for what it was intended as farming. So it'd look a lot like some of the apartments parking areas you drive through. There's a drive aisle, and that's what would happen. There'd be a garage on one side for some of the people if they wanted to actually build a garage to park their cars. And it would be a separate garage. It's not attached or connected to, that's remote from the home itself. So it's just a way to try to save pollutant generating surface and make a viable, I guess, great garage space for people that might want them and that I'm going to move into the village.
Thanks, Merle. Anything else, Ryan, from you?
No, that's about it.
Okay, any questions?
The briefing and then, I request a hearing.
Okay, very good. So we move to adjourn. Any comments on this evening or anything else, anybody? If you allow me, I'll just declare us adjourned at this time. Thank you very much.